Imagine a world where nobody wants to do anything anymore or better themselves in any way because we're perfect?
Huh? Oh, right. Do stuff.
No issues, no resolutions, then no complaining. So shut your gap mouth breathers, cause here we go! What up, y'all, and welcome back to the Dumb Podcast. I am Don Dario.
Yo, what up, y'all? And I'm Kev The Allstar.
In this episode, we talk about what it really takes to become a comedian on the Ha Ha Hack.
Yep. And our topic for today is resolutions. Who's making them and who needs them?
And as always, we end it with a little jiggity joke session, but we have some info to share.
Yeah.
Folks, if you'd like to support the Dumb Podcast and you shop on Amazon.com, consider using our link that can be found on DonDarioComedy.com. Every time you use the link, it contributes pennies on the dollar, and what we're going to do with that money is turn it around and produce quality entertainment for all of you and the Dumb Podcast and its viewers. Thank you in advance.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
We thank you for all your support here at the Dumb Podcast. Now, we want to hear from you. So if you have any jokes you want to hear on air, send them to us, and we'll make sure you're on the next episode. Also, if you just like to say hi or give us your feedback, we'd love to hear it. You can reach us by email at thedumpodcast@gmail.com. That's THEDUMPODCAST@gmail.com. Or by phone at 602-935-7307. You've got 3 minutes. Now let's hear it. This episode is brought to you by Aguila's Hidaway Lighthouse. It is an American pub and grub where the drinks are offered in a low-key hangout environment with sports on all the TVs, pool tables, karaoke, and comedy performances. Y'all got to check this place out, man.
Yeah.
Aguila's Hidaway Lighthouse. It is on the corner of El Mirage and Indian School Road in Avondale, Arizona. I will be performing January 7th, 2022. Yep. Performing on the Street Mic, downtown Phoenix. That's first Friday. It's going to be at 7:30 downtown Phoenix. I believe that's free, so just show up. Let's have fun. January 22nd, 2022, I'll be performing at JP's Comedy Club, Gilbert, Arizona. That's going to be at 9 p.m. You can get your tickets at www.jpscomedyclub.com. Kev, what do you got? How are you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. You know, life keeps handling. Things come around. Lost a cousin of mine, but, you know, we're going to keep it pushing.
Sorry to hear
That's
that,
what
man.
we do, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Don. You know, hey, closing out the year, I got a good show. It's going to be December 31st, New Year's Eve at 9 p.m. at JP's Comedy Club. You can get your tickets at jpscomedyclub.com, or you can find me on any social media site, and the link will be there.
Yeah.
And rolling into the new year, 2022, January 20th, I just got the news today that I will be performing at Cactus Jack's for the Ha Ha Tukey show.
Nice.
So get your tickets. Again, that's at Cactus Jack's at 7:30 p.m., January 20th, 2022. Boom.
Kev has been performing all over the valley, folks. Been killing it this whole month. Killing it at the end of the year. Kev doing it all year, but at the end, I couldn't get a hold of him, man. He was everywhere. Busy. I had to buy tickets. Folks, we're ready to send this year off with this episode.
Closing out 2021 with the 20th episode, going into 2022.
So kick back, chillax, and enjoy. The Dumb Podcast has the kid on here today. This guy does so much for the comedy community everywhere. Please help me give it up for comedy instructor / show producer and karaoke killer Haywood Jablomi, aka comedian Jesse Kid Ever. Yeah. All right.
Thank you. Everybody's forms with Haywood Jablomi.
Jesse, thank you for being a guest on the Dumb Podcast. How are you, sir?
So happy to be here in my own house.
How do you like my house? You like that? It's pretty nice, huh?
It was pretty dumb.
Thanks, dude. Dude, we are so excited to have you here. We are honored to have you on the podcast, actually, kid. And this segment that we're about to start right now is called the Ha Ha Hack. All right, this is where we share our experiences of doing stand-up comedy while we're all in the trenches together.
You know, we may not be professionals yet, but there are things that we have definitely learned, and we love to share them with everyone that's watching today.
Right, and today we discuss what it takes to be a comedian. Is being funny all it takes? Kid, how many comics have you known that have quit just because they don't want to do everything that it takes to be a comedian?
I mean, saying quitting, I mean, that's kind of a extreme term because most people don't like completely quit. They just stop for a while and then they'll just pop back up later out of the blue. I mean, there aren't many people who are just like, I'll never do this again. Usually, they're like, I'm not going to, be pushing as hard. I'm not going to do this regularly, but, they'll pop in if the mood strikes them or if a friend has something going on. But I mean, there's just a lot of people don't want to take it seriously enough to get next level.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of work, no matter which direction. There's a lot of different directions you can take to get noticed and get more work and everything. But, a lot of people want it. They just want to show up and be funny, and that's it. Yeah. And if you're going to do that and develop, you have to get just to be funny and then grow from there. Yeah. You have to get noticed by the clubs, regular work by the clubs for a while, and then grow from there. And not many people, make it out that way to where they're,
So it's kind of harder that way. Yeah.
I mean, that's because that is the traditional ways that people make it. I mean, that or already be on TV and films and then, get club work later. But, if you just show up and start and you're like, I want to work as a working entertainer. If you want to wait for the clubs to notice you, it might be 10 years. And then even if the clubs do notice you, it might be 10 years before that really grows into something legit. So do you want to just wait for that?
No.
There are other options.
Yeah. There are other options.
Yeah,
how long have you been doing how long have you yourself been doing this stand up? Not like teaching or anything like that, but how long have you been doing stand-up?
Almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in like a couple months.
Nice.
I don't remember the exact date. Everybody else remembers their date. I'm like, I don't know, sometime that year.
6 years is a long time, man. I mean, you go through all of it in 6 years. And that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to go through a little list for everybody that wants to start doing stand-up. First thing that you want to do, it doesn't just take being funny. You've got to promote yourself, right? You got to promote the show. If we're not making money yet to pay a PR, right? Or basically we're the CEO, right? If we don't have money to pay for the people working our business, then we have to be the CEO and the manager that's in there running everything as well and managing. Because, that's what we got to do. We got to promote our shows ourselves. We got to talk. We got to hype up, and we have to invite our audience, right? What do you think about promoting, Jesse?
I do a lot of it, and I mean that's if you don't already have a built-in audience, and if you don't have this big push from a club or something that's going to advertise for you, then you have to figure out how to promote or have somebody around that does. Because you may know, like a lot of the clubs here, I'm not sure if it's still the same because there's been some changes in management, but I had some shows at clubs where they didn't even have it on their website. Like if you go to get the tickets,
Yep.
it wasn't even on the website. I know a lot of the independently produced ones at clubs now, you can get the tickets if you go through and you'll see, you'll see like Adam Ray and Brad Williams, and then you'll see, here's our Sunday show, and it's whichever of us Sunday show. So that is on there more now. That helps. Yeah. But I mean, if you're not promoting, the thing is, when a lot of people start, everybody likes comedy, even if they don't go to shows, they at least will watch it on TV or whatever. So you assume, you're like, oh, well, people will come. This is going to be great. All people have to do is see that it's happening and they'll show up. And that's not the case at all, because people will take a traditional avenue. They'll be like, okay, well, if I want to go to comedy, I'll go somewhere that I've heard of. So I'll go to the Improv. Yeah. And so that's, where I'll go to stand up, whatever. And then if there's somebody that they've heard of, like an actor or a comedian, and they're doing something off-site, not at a club, and it's at a restaurant or something, if they see that, people rent venues, or they, partner, like we partner with different, restaurants and bars and stuff.
Yeah.
So people will see somebody that they've heard of, and they'll go to a different location to see that. But if it's just, hey, we're doing this comedy show and it looks great, people are going to be like, well, I never heard of the people and I've never heard of the location. No.
So maybe not.
So you have to promote it. Yeah. And so it really depends. I mean, every location depends. Everything's different. Every show is different. Every location is different. Like the way we do it, the way a bunch of us do it is, we try to see how many of whoever's on the show or involved with the show, how many people that we know that we can get out, and the same with when I have people traveling. If they come in, if they know people in town, they're like, hey, I'm in town once this year, you better come. Yeah. But what really helps a lot of times now is because the places that I've been doing it at have a pretty big following on social media, and they're pretty heavily in the algorithms. When they do promotions, it gets seen a lot. And we've been selling, we haven't been selling like hundreds of tickets or anything, but a lot of times we'll sell 20 or 30 tickets just off of the promotion that the restaurant does.
Yeah.
And that's understanding what.
Do you when you make your flyers for your promotions, do you see it as do you like just putting your headliner on your promotion posters, or do you put like all the featured acts like a little smaller, or just their names, or what do you find beneficial for that?
Normally what I do is I'll have the headliner like nice and big and put some of their credits and stuff, and then I'll put everybody else. But I've had some of those in the past where I'll have like a picture of the headliner, and then just for those people, like, if I put you on, I'll have the headliner and their credits and everything, and then just a picture of you, and then that's yours to promote. That's you for your fans. So I've done that in the past too, just kind of put it in the rotation and see how it helps and stuff. And sometimes it's worked a little better, sometimes not. So
yeah. And I got to see that set up yesterday. I got to see his little design thing yesterday. It's actually pretty cool. Kev, I wanted to ask you, man, because I see you out there promoting yourself all the time, and I know you're not out there paying somebody for it. You do it yourself. Do you have any suggestions or advice for our followers that want to start?
Shoot, man, I'll just give myself a little advice that I've already got right here on my whiteboard. One thing that I've been pretty much, I don't want to say attacked, but I know somebody's watching this that has directly told me this. So some people are worried when they're on social media, they're just posting their own stuff. They really don't watch their timeline. So one thing I have to do as a better promoter for myself and the venues and the host and the fellow comics I'm sharing the stage with is I have to, I got to get it into me to just start doing email blasts and like DMs, because everyone's like, you have to send me your flyer directly, and I'm bad at that. I just put on my timeline, and like Kid was saying, just I guess I'm like wishing on a star or whatever, that somebody will be like, oh yeah, let's go to that venue when they're just scrolling.
Yeah.
But if I directly send it to them, because I don't know, they're always like, hey, let me know when your next show is, and I think, oh, they're gonna see my timeline. Yeah. So that's one point that I've made for myself.
Yeah, so that's one thing is promoting, right? Another thing that we've got to do to be more of a well-rounded comedian is selling tickets, man. We have to be able to show whatever venue, whoever's putting on the show, that we can bring money in, right? And by doing that, we have to be able to sell ourselves and know that we are the product, you know? So you got to be able to sell yourself. Kid, nobody does it better than you, sir. Any advice for the viewers watching?
Well, there are people that do it better than me because, well, that's kind of what's going with the promotions. It kind of, interlocks. uh, um, it kind of blends though, because, you're promoting, and that, the goal of that is to get tickets sold. And everybody has their different way, and every show has a different method. I mean, like, for instance, I have a recurring show, and so a lot of times we do the same method for each location. So when we find what works, I'll be like, okay, I know some of you guys can get your fans out, so we'll do that. And I know that the restaurant is going to be doing promotions. That's going to help get some. Then I've got an email list, so I'll send an email blast, and that'll get so it's, if you hit it from multiple angles, that helps. So that way you're promoting to multiple audiences. And what everyone is good, because you can't just assume people will, number one, come if they see it. Number two, you can't assume they'll see it.
Right.
So whether you're, tagging people on social media or sending it to them directly, or, I send my email. I have people that I only do it for people who sign up for the email list at the shows. You want to sign up and get updates, coupons, whatever. So they want to come to more shows. And so I send out my email blast, and I've got a few people now.
So you have a email blast list of people just directly.
I have like a direct mail of people that have come before and that want to come to shows, want to see if we do some giveaways or discounts or whatever. So I sometimes give a little bonus to the people on my list. And I don't get all of them to come back out quite yet, but I'll sell 2 to 4 tables off of my email list alone per show sometimes.
So those email papers or whatever, I think you put a pad down or whatever and ask people to leave their info, and then they do like a raffle or something like that. So when you go home, you just put all those emails in your contact list and then separate them by people who showed up to a show. Is that, and then how do you, or is there a way to build that just that little pocket of people and just send it to them?
Yeah, so what I do is, well, first thing is that this isn't anything I've invented. I just watch what everybody else does. All the clubs do this. All the big clubs, when they're trying to boost attendance, they'll put out a little thing on every table, fill it out. Somebody will win something at the end of the night. Sometimes it's tickets, sometimes it's $50 gift certificate, whatever. And I've been to enough shows. I'm like, well, why don't I do that?
So smart.
They don't have a trademark on it, and obviously, but it works for enough of them that all the clubs do it. So I'm like, well, if clubs can do it, so can I. So I do the same thing. I just give away tickets at the end of the show to somebody. But out of if 50 people put their thing on and checked, yes, I want to receive, because I'm not going to make them be on my email list. But if you check, yes, I want to receive emails, then I just build it from that. And then I have a spreadsheet, and so I just go into Excel. I just build the spreadsheet. I do email, phone, because not everybody checks email, and sometimes people only put their phone. And then birthday. So if I have a show that I know isn't going to sell a ton of tickets, and I'm like, you know what, we can just fill a couple extra seats, I'll send people a birthday one. I'll be like, hey, your birthday's next week. I got a show. Here, free tickets to you.
Awesome. Yeah, man, that's great advice, kid. That's awesome, dude. Another thing we've got promoting, we've got selling tickets, and we also have befriending our demographic, right? Like we have, whenever we're at a show and there's our audience or somebody comes up to us and says, great show, that's your fan base, man. You have to learn how to be friendly, be polite. We have to be charming and be unique, right? It's basically building our fan base and at the same time promoting ourselves. Kev, do you ever like talk to any random audience members after a show?
Hell nah, fuck them.
Do they ever talk to you?
Oh no, I'm definitely not I'm not that dude. No, man, I like to be approachable, or I'll go just like last night, man. I was walking the tables and saying, hey, thank you for coming out, because they don't need to come out. They could pick any venue or even at a restaurant, they could still sit at the bar, turn their back to you and go about their business. But when they turn around and they engage and they legitimately pay attention, I definitely want to talk and say, hey, thank you. Because they could always go somewhere else or go to the bathroom during your set, get up and go smoke a cigarette. So you know, with my background, I pay a lot of attention to a lot of people's body language, whether I'm on stage and that light's bright or some other comics on stage and I'm just observing the crowd, you know. So I'm really appreciative of anyone coming out and choosing that venue that night.
Nice, that's good. I know Kid does it. Kid, do you have any tricks or techniques about like building your fan base, you know, while you're there at the show, or actually just anytime?
I schmooze everybody, and I realize now that I'm out and about and in public and performing, I realize what a big tool the smile is, and I didn't realize until I was like much more in front of people. Like my smile gets me everything.
Tell him, brother. Tell him. Tell him.
I mean, and being friendly and taking pictures with people, and you know, I mean, because you're trying to sell merchandise and stuff too, but you're trying to, you know, you're selling yourself, you're selling the show, and you're selling the image. But man, it is just smiling at everybody, especially because I get so dark sometimes on stage. If I just give him a nice smile, everybody's like, "Oh, but he's so cute, and he's so friendly." Like, wait, what?
I'd like to piggyback on what Kid's saying. You know, I've seen you perform a few times. We've done some shows together also. And one thing I noticed about you, man, you always, I believe, from my perspective, you dress the part, man. You don't look like you're just coming up from bed, you know. You get dressed up, you ready, you're presentable, you're proper, you're professional. Bam.
You want to tell him he's looking good, but yeah, look at him.
Well, I mean, he's got lip balm on. Like, come on.
I don't wear t-shirts like this, but no, you're right. A lot of comics dress just, you know, like they are dropping the kids off at school or something, or you know, like you said, they got out of bed, and you know, everybody's got hoodies and jeans and whatever. And I mean, you can do that, but it stands out when you dress, you know, when you're wearing like a blazer, you know, even if it's jeans, wear some nice ones. I mean, sometimes I wear crazy outfits, all, you know, all silver or all camo, whatever. But it shows that I put effort into it, and it stands out in people's heads. They definitely remember that, you know, it was there. And if you put in the effort into your appearance, you know, you look like you're supposed to be put together in front of people. And then I think that's part of why I don't get, if you know this, but I don't get heckled. And I think part of it is because I walk on stage and people are like, what is happening? Because they're not used to seeing that. Just, you know.
You demand attention, man, just off the get-go. And like, also, you know, I'm going to say this, and it might sound weird, but I don't care, because I do care. A lot of people bust my chops for having a stage name, right? But I'll say, oh, it's a black thing. But I love it when people not so colorful got a stage name. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a business. It's a trademark. It's memorable. The second they hear it, it sticks.
Yep.
You know? And your name, Kid Ever. Boom. Ever. Got it. Who was that one comedian? Kid Ever. Got it.
Yep.
But if it was just your first name, like, who? You know?
Right.
Exactly, folks. And that's, you know, some of these things that we've been talking about are some changes that I have to make myself. You know, I've never been a people person, you know, but now that we're in the new year, I guess it's time for a change, right? Which kind of brings us to our topic of the day, resolutions, right? The new year is around the corner. And as we look into the future, we ask ourselves, what are resolutions, right? Who makes them and how do you make them? Kid, can you explain to our viewers what resolutions are, and maybe explain it in a way where you explain it for the first time to an alien, not an immigrant?
And I had this conversation with someone the other day. The interesting thing about resolutions that people really don't seem to glom onto is, you know, it has at its core, the word is resolute. Do you know what it means to be resolute?
Yep.
It's to be strong and steadfast and committed, right?
Yep.
So people say a resolution is supposed to be just like promise yourself or a goal or whatever. It's not just goal setting. It's, are you committing in a way that you are like all in? And, you know, when people are like, oh, let me see what my resolutions are. So for most people, resolution is just a list of stuff you want to do or change or whatever. But and this is part of why I don't do it, is because I'm like, if you really are committed to it, it's a change of the calendar isn't what's going to do it. But to be resolute in altering the state of your life, of your mind, whatever, that's really at the core of what resolutions are supposed to be, even though I really doubt most people consider that when they're making our list of resolutions for the year. My God, more candles, more wine, more yas, please.
That's true, man. That's true. And then you're right. They are just self promises that nobody keeps. You know what I mean? But who makes resolutions, anyways? I always thought resolutions were only made by us fat people who are trying to lose weight. But what do you make resolutions, kid? And is it an annual thing? Is it you only do them on New Year's or what?
No, I think it's stupid because I've been making fun of New Year's for so long, for years, that I'm like, okay, all of you are so excited. It's time to celebrate that you're changing your calendar, like, because everybody tries to make a bigger deal out of it, but it's the symbol of new beginnings. And this, I'm like, dude, you're going from the end of the last month of one year to the beginning of the first month, and like, really, it's. The calendar itself has no real relevance to any of this. So I don't have any interest in resolutions. I'm just like, when I identify something that I need to work on, I do it. I don't, because I don't do, and that's another thing, whether it's in life or in comedy, which a lot of this is about, but a lot of other people set goals, and the thing is, people set weird goals that don't seem to relate to anything. So when people are like, what are your goals for the year? I'm like, I don't have any goals for the year because I've got to get this, and this done. Yeah. And if I get those done, then whatever shows up after that, as soon as I see the opportunity, I'm going to go for it. I don't set a goal of I'm going to try to find a way to do these things and hope that it works out for me. I'm like, is that an opportunity? All right, I'm going to try for that. If I don't get it, here's this. There's 5 more that I'm going to go after. So I don't do goal setting. I just shoot for, achievement. And so whether it's in life or when we do it with comedy stuff, like some of the weird ones with comedy, let's go over some of the weird ones. I want to perform on every stage in the valley.
Oh,
okay.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, like usually it's when they say that they mean all the club stages, and I want to perform at every club.
Yeah.
To what end though? What does that achieve? Because if you do what? Are you going to do an open mic at them if that counts? And some of them say, oh, yeah, well, that counts because I was on their stage. Are you doing a guest spot? Are you getting invited to perform? Are you getting paid? Like, that's the thing is with me, I'm like, it's checking off a list of places to show up and be on stage. Doesn't mean you did well. Doesn't mean anybody wanted you there. So, I mean, I'd rather be invited to perform at 2 or 3 clubs and get paid and be on a bigger show than be like, all right, it's Wednesday. It was open mic night, but this was one of the clubs that I didn't check off. So check mark. I did it. Goal achieved. And I'm like, what goal did you achieve though? Like, did that get anything for you? Like that goal isn't going to actually propel you anywhere. So what is the point of making these almost arbitrary goals? They're like, I'm just going to make it because I need to have goals. Well, I think you spend more time making these goals and following them than if you were to just go after 1 or 2 really good opportunities and achieve something from that. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So I think goal setting, whether it's, talking about the comedy stuff and everything, or it's just in your life, like look at what your goal is and what are you going to actually accomplish out of that? And is it realistic? Is it going to get you anywhere? Most of the time, the answer is like when people tell me their New Year's resolutions, I'm like, the fuck is the point? Like you sounds like you're not going to get. Number one, you're probably not going to achieve it, and number 2, even if you do, does it change your life? Is it better? Are you still a terrible person? Are you still in bad health? Like whatever, who cares?
Yeah, and that's a good point. You know what I mean? Because if you make these resolutions and maybe you do them, maybe you finally achieve your resolutions and it feels good, right? But if you're right, if you're setting up these resolutions and they're no way achievable or just so weird that you might not even do it, it's going to make you feel the opposite, which is bad, right? So it's like, yeah, who makes these resolutions? It's just usually people who want to make a change, you know, and if you're going to make the change, you've got to do it. And you said you hit it right on the head, dude. Who keeps these resolutions anyways? Like, is somebody tracking? You know what I mean? Jesse, do you track anybody? You know, are you keeping track of your girl's resolutions? And then, wow.
I don't think she makes it. But no, it's funny because when people on, huh? Oh, did you hear that?
What? No.
She said her resolution is to get her pussy eaten every day.
Yeah, see, that is a very good resolution. That's what I was trying to say. If you're going to keep these resolutions, man, you got to be dedicated, right? People who want change are going to be dedicated, and you know, how you make these resolutions, you brought up a good point, is it's got to be clear and it's got to be simple, right? And just like that one, getting your pussy out eaten for the whole year is clear and simple. So that works. Good job.
Good job, Angie.
Kid, what are is that going to be one of your resolutions? What are your resolutions? Are you going to make any?
No, because like when I see people like they put on Facebook and stuff, they're like, "Oh, I'm not doing so great," or "I am doing great," and they're like announcing about the resolutions, and they're just looking for affirmation. But I'm like, "Oh, well, I hadn't really paid attention that you had one because I kind of don't care because that's, you know, I mean, if you're in a group of people trying to help each other out, okay, but you know, like, and that's the thing is a lot of people look at how productive I am in my life with, you know, I mean, not just in the stuff that you and I do with the performing and the producing, but I do a lot. I mean, I work multiple jobs. I teach, I have like little classes on the side. I have like college prep writing class that I'm teaching, and I do everything. So in addition to that, and I'm, you know, performing and producing and promoting and networking and doing road, you know, stuff where I'm going out on little mini tours, and, you know, because I can so much. Well, and I have 3 kids too, and I spend time with them, and I'm working on, you know, raising them. Yeah. And when people are like, "Well, how do you do so much without setting goals?" And I'm like, because I don't stop and work out a plan of things to later pursue.
Right.
See, for me, a lot of times, I think when people are setting goals, it's here's something that I'm not doing now. I want to pursue it, and I want to achieve at some point.
Yeah.
I don't wait. I think that's part of it is with a lot of people, goal setting involves waiting, and I don't wait. So I say, okay, do I have an opportunity right now? I'm taking it. Do I have an idea? If I have an idea, I'm going to look into it. If it's doable, if it's pursuable, if it's achievable, then I figure out what the steps are and I get it done. I don't set a goal to get it done. I just do it. And if I fail, then I say, what went wrong? What's a different version of that? Let me look at that later. And then when the opportunity opens up, then I'm like, hey, this is a good time for that old idea in a new way. And then I bring it back and then I do it. I don't wait for anybody to tell me I should do it. I just fucking do it. And I think that's the big difference between people who just set goals. Because I'm sure there are people who achieve a whole lot who do goal setting. There's some who have talked about it. They're like, I set a goal to do this and I did it. Yeah. That happens sometimes. I don't see it happen a lot. Most of the people I see that we know every day that are setting these goals, they don't do much of anything. You know, a lot of the people who are achieving is because they don't set it as a goal. They start to develop a plan. They don't say this is a goal. They're like, this is my plan. And if I don't achieve that plan, here are some alternative backup plans. It's a strategy more than goal setting. And I think a lot of the people who achieve a lot of people achieve. I mean, I'm not worried about money. If I was worried about money, I would have gone a completely different route with all the things that I pursued in my life. But, you know, when you look at the people who make money, most of them are not setting goals. They're developing strategies in business and in life. It's a laid out series of interconnected plans. It's not a goal. Right. A lot of the people that you see setting goals are like, I want this. This is my goal. Well, how are you going to achieve it? Yeah. Because you don't have a plan. Yeah. Most people have goals with no plan and it never happens. A lot of people who have plans, they don't even need a goal because if you plan well, you're going to get way farther than everybody else anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like those vision boards or whatever that people make, right? It's like, oh, they have it there, but it's like, don't, it's like, stop talking about it and be about it. Is basically what you're saying. I do the same thing myself. And, it's kind of like those people who say, I'm going to wait till Monday to start working out. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like, just do it now. You know what I mean? And I should take that advice myself. But,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for the Jiggity Joke Session.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
we've got three comedians. And Jesse, Kid Ever, since you are our special guest tonight, you get to go first.
ooh.
All right, is it time for me to read them now?
Yes, sir.
They say what goes up must come down. Well, tell that to this blue pill I got as a stocking stuffer. Ho, 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 it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Nice.
Jesus.
All right. Kev, you are up, sir.
I am up. I must be up like the blue pill that
Like
keeps
the
on
blue
giving.
pill.
Anyway, all right, I'm up. Let's go. It's so weird to see tough gangsters ordering Hawaiian shaved ice because they still walk up to the register all intimidating. They whip out their chained wallet and say, "Hey, Esse, give me a tutti frutti large."
Nice. I love the accent. You did it perfect. That was so good.
Say, "Orale."
That was awesome. All right. It is my turn. All right. I need a rap persona. My new name is Interlock. Just like that thing in your car after you get a DUI. If you want to get anywhere with me, you're going to have to blow me first. Unless you're too drunk, then you can have your best friend blow me instead.
Hey.
Nice. All right. It is your turn, Jesse.
Okay, that was my favorite joke, so we'll see if anything will take this. The tiniest robots can now reproduce just like Honey Boo Boo, and boy, are we in trouble. I mean, what will the next virus outbreak be? Y2KKK?
Nice.
Hey, I find that offensive.
Honey Boo Boo. Dang you. All right, Kev, you are up, sir.
Y2K. Damn. Everybody has to start somewhere. But when they're done, they finish on Don's chest.
Hey, what the?
Oh! Oh!
That's not true. But good one. Yeah. See how I can take a joke, people? Take a joke, all right?
It
Take rough one than
is.
that. Oh!
It is my turn, right? My turn?
Yeah, go, Don.
All right. The holidays are for receiving and giving. That's why I'll be receiving coal and giving 0 fucks. You bastards.
Nice. All
My only
right.
question is, who's Cole?
Who's cool?
That's Cole East. He's going to be on in season 2.
Look forward to that. Stay tuned.
And you're going to be receiving him, huh?
Yeah. But he's giving 0 fucks, so at least he's safe.
Black,
you know what I mean?
Black coal.
Yeah. Dean Cole, then. Gotcha. All right. It
Not Dean
is your turn, kid.
We're closing 2021, and the 2022 resolutions will soon be upon us. You know what's not going to happen? Resolutions for COVID. That shit is staying around like the equator. You know, it's imaginary.
Nice. All right, Kev, you are up, sir.
Apple Pay now has a layaway feature and they're using O.J. Simpson as their spokesman. The new Apple option will be called Sliced.
Ah, nice.
Nice.
Sliced
Oh,
and
OJ.
stabbed. And
All right, my turn. Remember when the Backstreet Boys sang I Want It That Way? How many years did it take you before you realized they meant it in the butt?
Nice.
that's in sync.
So Kev means he wants in the butt in sync with you.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, dude. Everybody's done this. We actually missed Taco, so sorry, Taco. Maybe we can get you next time. But we ask all our guests that do the podcast to guess who wrote the jokes that you read today. So if you can remember down the list, I can remind you if you need to which ones they were, and you can tell me who wrote it.
I don't have the list anymore. It went away.
I'll give you
The Honey Boo Boo Y2KKK one, I want to say is Kev. That was you?
Yep, that was me. All right. What about the stocking stuffer, blue pill?
The blue pill is you.
Yep.
Really? That was Kev?
All right. What about what is this? Resolution 4C.
Oh, COVID.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be Kev.
Yep. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. All right, man. So far, you've been the worst one in picking this here. Bless you, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. No, we got you. We got you. Yeah, boy. All right, dude.
I figured with the KKK remark, I figured that would be Kev.
Why he would be okay with it?
No, because he would be anti-KKK.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So am I. What the heck were you saying here? I'm pro. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's because you're in disguise. Like, he's obviously black. You could pass for white, even though you're not. So you can hide.
I wish I could
just tell
pass
people-
for. Yeah, I wish I could at least reap the benefits of that at once. I want to not get patted down when I go to Costco sometime.
Well, then you should stop going with me.
Nice, kid. Thanks for being a guest on the Dumb Podcast and adding to the funny, man. Is there anything you like to promote? Upcoming events, website, social media handles?
So I just got my website. Thanks. Shout out to Josh Boyle for helping me with that. It's pretty much ready to go. I need a couple more links on it. It's just jesseever.com. And it's going to have all the updates on there pretty soon. We have our second anniversary of the Desert Rose shows in Glendale coming up now.
Yeah.
Is it going to air before then? I don't know.
What
It's going to be out.
What day?
It's the 21st.
21st of January?
Yeah.
Nice. What time?
9 p.m. So I've got Jeremy Gumbo Christian from Wild and Out coming in to headline that one. And then the 28th, I have Eden Nault coming up for our Dirty Show.
Yeah. That's going to be
Dirty shows are fun.
good.
The Dirty shows, dude. And we're worried that you might limit the audience. The Dirty Shows, people come out people who don't know anybody on it just hear that it's going to be a filthy comedy show, and we sell a bunch of tables just because they're like, it's dirty, I'm in.
Yeah, they want it.
Yeah, they're like, says on the flyer, don't come if you're offended by anything. No refunds or fucks will be given or whatever. And all these people are like, fuck yeah, that's what we want. I'm like, okay, come to the raunchy one.
Nice. So don't forget that Desert Rose. Hit up jesseever.com.
Yep.
Jesse, thanks again for coming, bro. We'll see you next year.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have fun in life, folks.
Exactly. And live to laugh to live, because without laughter, what is the point?
True. Peace.